So since I am currently unemployed, I thought it would be fun to take a career test to see what career it would give me. And who knows, maybe I'll switch careers and do something different after taking this test. Here is the career aptitude test instructions. It takes 5 to 10 minutes. You will see 15 sets of 4 pictures that show specific work activities. You must only choose one work activity that appeals to you the most and one that appeals to you the least. Do not choose a work activity based on the status or money associated with it. Okay? Do not make your choice based on gender or race. Did that really need to be said? Just imagine yourself performing the task shown and decide if you would like to do it or not. If you like doing the activity, click the check mark on the picture. If you do not like doing the activity, click the X on the picture. You must choose a like and dislike for each set. To make the images in this test look more like you, pick a personal setting or continue using the neutral setting. So I have going to the office, a research job, construction, and engineering, creative photography. All right, so the least appealing one to me would be the construction and engineering job because I would be on my feet all day and it seems the most physically demanding. So I'm gonna X this one, and then the office job seems like the most, me personally, I've pretty much only worked office jobs in my career, so I'm gonna go with this one. So I'll do office as my most favorite, and then least favorite would be the construction job. So I have an auctioneer, a teacher, a mechanic, and a chemist. All right, this is gonna get kind of hard. An auctioneer, I didn't know that was an actual job. I thought that was more of like a volunteer sort of thing. A teacher sounds terrible. Having to deal with kids nowadays, I'm gonna give that an immediate X. I do like helping people. I do like that aspect though of being a teacher, but having to deal with kids, I'm assuming in this context, a teacher is like an elementary, like a school teacher. I think being a teacher for adults would be cool, but if this is a teacher for kids, I don't know about that. An auctioneer, that does not really sound appealing to me. I'm gonna give this one an X. And then mechanic and chemist. A mechanic, similar to the construction, engineering, I feel like it's very physically demanding. I think it is cool to work with your hands, and the idea of fixing something sounds very nice. So it does sound cool. I think a chemist sounds the most interesting out of these 4 because I'm indoors and I've always had an interest in science, or at least somewhat of an interest. I'll check off chemist. I'll do that one. What does this mean? Monitor and record, sell and convince, design and paint, help and care. Right off the bat, the one that says monitor and record sounds the most interesting. In this picture, this lady is checking things off a list, and I love doing that. Sell and convince. So that's like being a salesman and having to persuade people and basically talking to people all the time. I am not good at that. I'm gonna give this one an X right off the bat. Okay, design and paint. I do like being creative. I'm just not good at it, but it is fun. And then help and care. I do think that's really cool as well. In this picture, it looks like this person is being a caretaker for an old lady, and I don't like old people that much. So for these other 3, I'm gonna choose monitor and record as my favorite. Next, we have a social worker, an administrator, a firefighter, and a manager. Right off the bat, I'm gonna put an X on firefighter because that job seems a bit scary. It is a respectable job though, I will say. I have a lot of respect for firefighters. A social worker the idea seems cool, like being able to help someone, but I know those jobs can be very mentally draining. I'm gonna keep this as a neutral one for now. An administrator, what does that mean? Like a school principal? Like working at a school? But this one seems like more of like an office job, so it's something that, I'm kind of familiar with. I think this one is fine for now. Manager. What does a manager do? Managers don't do anything. All they do is tell other people to work, and they don't do any work themselves. I'm not a huge fan of that. So based off of these, I'm going to do administrator, but I think being a social worker, the idea of being a social worker and, being able to help others is awesome, but it seems like a bit too much for me. And then manager, just no. Jewelry creation, guide children, medical diagnostics, and take notes. I hate taking notes, so I'm going to put an X on that. Jewelry creation. That sounds like a tough job because jewelry is tiny and you got to be like really precise. So I don't think I would be good at that. Guiding children, I do think that's cool. I know I said earlier, like being a teacher wouldn't be fun, but just guiding and like mentoring children, helping them discover, what their passions are and what they want to do in life. I do think it's important to give back to the youth. So I think that part is cool. I also think medical diagnostics is pretty interesting as well. There's like an analytical aspect to it, and then working in the medical industry, you're trying to help sick people. So that's really cool as well. I'm choosing between medical diagnostics and guide children. I think I'm going to go with guide children. Sketch and design, mobile mechanic, business manager, and help disabled. I think right off the bat, I'm going to X off mobile mechanic. Seems like a lot of driving throughout the day. Sketch and design seems cool. Business manager, meh. Help disabled. I think that's pretty cool as well. This is another tough one. What do I like the most out of these three? I think the helping aspect is really cool, helping the disabled. I'll check this one. Study, styling and decorating, close business deals, and fix it. Right off the bat, I'm going to X off studying. I don't like studying. Close business deals. So is that like, I know earlier there was one that said sell and convince, which is like sales, and closing business deals. That seems like part of the sales as well. But the idea of closing a business deal and making money, that sounds good. So I think this one is good for now. Styling and decorating. I've always been into interior design, so that seems cool. Fix it. I wouldn't say I'm passionate. I mean, I think obviously fixing things is a good thing, but I don't think I'm necessarily good at it. I'm going to go with styling and decorating for this one. We have social counselor, molecular scientist, accountant, and vet. I think I'm going to X off vet right off the bat. I'm not good with animals. And then I think I'm going to go with accountant for this one because accountants do a lot with numbers, and I feel like I can understand numbers pretty well. And then a social counselor, is that the same thing as a social worker? That seems a bit draining, so no. And then scientist, that seems cool as well, but I think I'm going to go with accountant for this one. Chairman, administration, gain knowledge, and landscape architecture. Like, what's the difference between chairman and administration? Aren't these all synonyms? Gain knowledge? Like what? I mean, yeah, that's important. Landscape architecture. That sounds cool as well. Is that like designing buildings? I'll go with this one for my check. And then for the X, I mean, I guess I'll do chairman because that seems like more of a leadership position. Dental technician. Host, draw, information clerk. Ooh, okay. I like drawing. That's fine. Dental technician. Ooh. I think that's an X right off the bat. I feel like I might break someone's teeth if I was a dental technician. I don't think I would be good at it. A host? What is a host? Like the host of a game show? Oh, is it like a host at a restaurant? So like someone who brings people to their tables? I mean, I think I could do that too. But drawing is nice. Information clerk. Is that the person who, like, if you want to buy a ticket to something and then they, hand their credit card or money under the glass wall? I think for this one, I'll do drawing. Drawing is cool. Next, we have controller, stockbroker, data analyst, and engineer. So right off the bat, I'm going to X off the stockbroker because that job seems the most stressful. I would also not choose the engineer. I feel like that one you have to do a lot of math, and I feel like it might be kind of hard. Controller, I don't know what exactly a controller is, like an air traffic controller. When I think of controller, I think of Breaking Bad. I forgot one of the girls' names. Was it Mary Jane? Like Jesse's girlfriend? Her dad was like an air traffic controller, and there was that one day he just wasn't having it and he wasn't paying attention, and the planes crashed. Is that what a controller is? That job seems stressful then, if that's the case. So I'm going to go with data analyst. Science, tools, medical support, arts, and drama. I think these all sound really interesting. If I had to X one of them, I guess I would put arts and drama. I find it interesting, but I don't think I would be good at it, like being an actor or something like that. Also seems like a hard industry to kind of get into. So I X'd off arts and drama. What am I gonna choose though? I'm gonna go with science for this one. Logical reasoning, sorting and organizing, give directions to teach and explain. Okay. I'm not good at teaching or explaining things, so I'm gonna do an X. Giving directions? That's a job. Logical reasoning, I think I can be good at that. Sorting and organizing was the first one that immediately caught my attention. I love stuff like that, so I'm going to check that off. We have elderly care, estate agent, fashion designer, problem solving. Okay, I'm going to immediately X off elderly care. I don't like old people. Fashion designer, I'm not really into fashion like that. I would not be good at that. Problem solving. I think problem solving is cool if the problem isn't that hard. Estate agent, I think that's actually pretty cool. Is that basically someone who shows houses? I think that's pretty cool actually, so I'm gonna check that off. Electronics, creative writing, salesperson, and archiving. Ooh. Okay. Salesperson, not for me, not good with sales. The first one that caught my eye was archiving. Is that basically just filing papers? I love doing stuff like that. I'm really good at that kind of stuff. So I'm going to check that off. All right, so here is my career test results. So my personality type is I preferred conventional the most, followed by artistic and investigative. My 6-letter personality type is Kaiser. Here is a list of jobs that fit my code Kaiser. At a 77% match, I have a legal assistant. Legal assistants work closely with lawyers and legal representatives in the research and preparation of cases brought to courts. They assist in the paperwork of cases and management of the administrative side of court affairs. A web developer. Web developers develop, implement, and document web-accessible software based on the designs provided. They align the client's web presence with its business strategy, troubleshoot software problems and issues, and look for ways to improve the application. Next, we have a proofreader, also at 77%. Proofreaders examine facsimiles. If I don't know what the word means, should I be a proofreader? Of the finished products such as books, newspapers, and magazines. They correct grammatical, typographical, and spelling errors in order to ensure the quality of the printed product. Archivist. They assess, collect, organize, preserve, and provide access to records and archives. Records maintained are in any format, analog or digital, and include several kinds of media. Documents, photographs, video, and sound recordings. That one sounds like the coolest job so far. Costume attendant. I don't think I would like that. I'm not going to even read it. Phlebotomist. Oh, they're the ones that draw blood. Ooh. Yeah, not going to do that. Industrial waste inspector. They conduct controls in companies to ensure they comply with waste and environmental regulations. They check the documentation related to waste management. They collect samples for analysis and observe the industrial practices. They may advise or preventive or corrective actions to improve industrial waste management and disposal. All right, this job sounds pretty cool too. Actuarial consultant. They analyze, manage, and provide guidance on financial impacts of risks. They work in fields related to insurance, pension, banking, healthcare. Actuarial consultants apply technical and statistical models and theories to give strategic, commercial, and financial advice. That seems pretty cool. There was a lot of cool things. I'm glad I took this test because this test gave me a lot of good ideas on careers that I could potentially look into. Like, I didn't know there was such thing as an archivist, maintaining records throughout several kinds of media, documents, photographs, videos, sound recordings. That sounds really cool. I think the statistician or an actuarial consultant, working with the numbers, that sounds cool as well. An industrial waste inspector, conducting inspections and ensuring that these companies are in compliance. That sounds really cool as well. So, this really gives me a lot to think about in terms of what I really want to do next. Because I was in a certain line of work for a while, and taking this test kind of helps me realize that there's so many jobs out there, and I don't necessarily have to continue doing the work that I already know. It's never too late to try something new and start a new career path. So yeah, that is me taking a online career test.